It is okay. Hee hee. Okay. It is okay to admit when you need to pivot your dream. 31 lessons that I've learned over the last 2 years in 31 days. Um, this one is hard for a lot of reasons. Um, Man, this one is hard for a lot of reasons. So I have dreams that were not realized until I got older. There were things that these were things that I had dreamed, like could dream myself, daydream myself, see myself doing when I was younger, but they were not valid career paths. So I never considered them when thinking about what I would be when I grew up. So I went through years of doing what I thought would make my family happy and stopped that after a while. So I was just like, this is ridiculous. I don't want to do this. And I'm also not going to pay for an education to do something that I don't want to do. Not going to spend money. I don't care whose money it is. I'm not going to spend money to learn about something to become something that I literally genuinely don't want to do. So in another video, I said I met my husband at the first college I went to. Yeah, I've been to multiple colleges because I was just like, I'm trying to figure this out. But much later, figured I'm gonna just go for it. So I started a website design business. Years later, I went and got formal education on front end website development. Before that, though, I started my videography and photography career self-taught. I always tell people I'm like 95% self-taught. I did go to school for it. I started because I felt like I had to because of outside sources. Your career and your education were not validated unless you had a degree. So even though I was doing videography and photography and was 100% self-taught at that point for literally years, I was like, okay, so none of y'all are going to acknowledge that I know how to do this and I'm good at what I do. So I'm gonna just go to school for it, whatever. So found the community college in our area has a program, a 2-year program. I literally went a year and a half. I went a year and a half and I was like, I was like, I'm good. I was like, I'm doing this. I'm spending money because I want to be validated by somebody else. I was like, okay, whatever. That ain't even my MO. So girl, why are you here? I don't know. So I left. Maybe one day I'll go back and finish it. Literally a year and a half. Like 6 more months ago, right? I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's just whatever. Anyway, if it doesn't make sense, I have a hard time doing it, okay? So just went on and kept doing what I was doing and created a name for myself and did amazing things. Am doing an amazing thing. But the last 2 years, because of what the world has been going through, and because of what I was going through personally in my life, I wasn't able to work as much. And I think I touched on this in 1 or 2 other of the lessons, the videos. So I'm not going to go into it really, but I couldn't. That's a concrete answer, which is something I'm working on. I couldn't do what I do. Because one, I do what I do around other people. So the uneasiness, this is just me personally, the uneasiness of I could catch something and bring it home. And this was before other things came about, and this was before rapid testing, all this other stuff. So I was like, I could catch something and bring it home. My dad was sick. My mom was sick. My youngest kid was sick. I was like, I have too much at stake. I'm around these three people way too much to even potentially bring something home to harm them. Then my oldest, who at that time they didn't have the vaccine for his age group. So I was like, so I have two kids at home that are at risk, one of which has actual breathing problems. Like, so he doesn't need other things that cause breathing problems on top of his already breathing problems. And then I have my parents that are not getting any younger. They're also immune compromised. I had too much at stake, so I couldn't do anything. So I had to pivot. I had to pivot. And when I was going through the most hectic part of everybody's health struggles and everything like that, that was really a hell. I keep calling it that, but that's what it is. That's what it was. Once we got past that, I would say the most hellish part of the hell, I really started to rethink everything. And I was just like, do I actually want to do this? Because life is so short, and I know people say that all the time, and it always comes up when people die or have like a near-death experience, something to that effect. And it was one of those things again. But I really was just like, am I doing what I want to do the way I want to do it? And I realized, no, I'm not. I love videography. I love creating visually. But the one part that I am is the app that I have with the shows. I was like, I want to produce shows. That's what I want to do. I originally started doing all these other different types of content and client projects to make money to produce shows and short films. But somewhere along the line, I got away from that. And I was just focusing on client stuff. I was like, okay, I like doing this. I can do it. I am good at it. I have the proof to show that I'm good at it. But this is not what my original goal was. So I have the app. I have shows that I've created. They're on the app and it's great. If you're interested, I'll put the link in the description box. But I was like, I don't want to do things that take me away from what I really wanted to do. So I was like, okay, so I got to do something because the production is expensive. It's expensive. Okay, so I can't just be out here. Oh, and I love doing documentaries too. I'm trying to figure out another documentary to do. I love doing documentaries, but anyway, all these things cost money. Shmoney, honey. And I'm just like, okay, so how am I going to do this? If I want to focus more on the documentaries, the shows, the app, I need to make money. So, an opportunity came across my desk for me to, well, it was a position to go back into the corporate world doing pretty much everything that I know how to do. I had a corporate experience before and it wasn't that great. So I was like, I hate corporate. I'm not corporate. But I saw this position and I was just like, this sounds good. And it wasn't with the company that I originally worked for. I was like, okay. So I applied for it and ended up being in the final round of applicants. And so I should actually know by this week, the time that I'm recording this right now, or early next week, if I got the position or not. But because of acknowledging that I needed to pivot and then having this opportunity come across my desk and then actually applying and going for it, it's like I'm potentially in this great position. I'll be getting paid more than I've been paid for my client projects. I will be able to learn new things and also apply all of the skills, talents, abilities that I have able to glean and teach myself and learn from other people over the past 10 years. And also, I was talking to the manager. So there was 3 rounds of interviews, and one of the interviews was with the manager, and they were saying how they want to do these different community projects and things like that. I'm like, great. So I can still give back to my community. I can still help people who that ultimately is a part of who I am, is helping people, helping the community, giving back. Like, it's literally in my lineage. Literally. So I literally cannot help myself. So it's like I still get to help the community. I still will be able to make money, provide a better life for me and my kids, and partner with my husband to give all of us a better life, but then also have more money to put toward these projects and these shows and everything. And it was funny because I think not I think again, concrete answers. I know that what I went through these last 2 years helped me make that decision to go ahead and apply for this position, or even to be open to seeing it, because I was so closed off on going back into corporate that I think if this opportunity would have came across my desk even 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been so close to it that I probably would have missed the email. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this lesson was important for me to learn in the last 2 years, even though it was not through the best circumstances, because I may have missed this great opportunity. And even if I don't get it, I think just the fact that I am more open and really like not as harsh against going back into corporate, if that's what I need to do, because it can still help me continue to live out the dreams that I have. There's also another layer in that I'm still dealing with, and has nothing to do with corporate, but it's just the fact, again, going back, I think I said it before, about how my career choice when I first started as a website designer, and then continued on into photography and videography and short films and things like that. A lot of my family members did not validate what I was doing, because I hadn't finished college and this, that, and whatever, even though a lot of them are entrepreneurs themselves, but they also have real jobs. And because I did not have a real job, it was not acknowledged. I didn't tell too many people about me applying, but I told some, and of course some of those people are my family, so of course families just can't keep anything to themselves, and so some people know about it now. And I find myself having to work through, like, oh, so you're now going to acknowledge my talent, skills, and abilities because I might be going back into corporate. I don't have the position yet, even though it'd be great if I have it, and I'll be absolutely grateful to God if I get it. I was like, I don't even have a position yet, but that's all you can talk about. But yet I've had my company for 10 years. I've been an entrepreneur for 11 years, and you've said nothing. But that's another layer I got to work on. But that has no bearing on if I do get offered the position. That has, what other people think is not going to determine if I take it or not. If they offer me the position, I'm going to take it, because I do genuinely want to work there. So who knows, maybe by the time this one goes up, I don't know which number this video is, or this lesson is, but maybe by this time that this goes up, I will have the job already. But yeah, that's the whole other layer I gotta work through, but it's okay. But I just had to be okay with saying it's okay if I go back to corporate. I'm not going to stop working on my business, and they know that. And that also doesn't mean that I failed as an entrepreneur. I'm just finding other ways to get my dreams done while also helping people, which is essentially what I want to do. So it's okay to admit that I have to pivot and then go forth in that pivot. It's okay. It's what I've learned.